हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू आवर यूट्यूब चैनल। आज का ये वीडियो स्पेशली फ़िज़िक्स के ऊपर है। क्लास 12 के बच्चे जिन्होंने फ़िज़िक्स लिया है और जिनका एग्ज़ाम अक्टूबर 2024 में होने वाला है, ये वीडियो सिर्फ उन्हीं के लिए है। इस वीडियो में आपको मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे, ब्रॉड क्वेश्चन मिलेंगे जो कि आपके एग्ज़ाम्स के लिए मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट होंगे। तो इस वीडियो को बिना स्किप किए पूरा देखिए। चलिए वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। एग्ज़ाम पैटर्न पर थोड़ा बात कर लेते हैं। आपका जो पेपर होगा फिज़िक्स का वो 80 मार्क्स का होगा और आपको टाइम मिलेगा एग्ज़ाम के लिए 3 घंटे का। चलिए पहले क्वेश्चन पे चलते हैं। स्टेट द सेकंड लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स एंड द आंसर इज द सेकंड लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स स्टेट्स दैट द टोटल एंट्रोपी ऑफ एन isolated system can never decreases over time. It implies that natural processes tend to move towards a state of maximum entropy or disorder. Question is, explain the concept of reversible and irreversible processes. And the answer is, a reversible process is an ideal process that occurs infinitely slowly, allowing the system to remain in thermodynamic equilibrium. An irreversible process occurs rapidly, often involving friction, turbulence, or unrestrained expansion, and cannot be exactly reversed. Next question is, the SI unit of pressure is Pascal. Next question, according to Bernoulli's principle, an increase in the speed of a fluid occurs simultaneously with a decrease in the fluid's, and the answer is pressure. Next question is, the SI unit of viscosity is dash, and the answer is Pascal second. Next question is, what do you mean by demodulation? And the answer is, the process of extracting the audio signal from the modulated wave is known as demodulation or detection. The wireless signals consist of radio frequency carrier wave modulated by audio frequency. The diaphragm of a telegram receiver or a loudspeaker cannot vibrate with high frequency, so it is necessary to separate the audio frequencies from the radio frequency carrier wave. Next question is, describe the working principle of a diffraction grating. And the answer is, a diffraction grating consists of a large number of equally spaced parallel slits. When light passes through a reflex of the grating, it diffracts the interference, producing a spectrum of color or an interference pattern. The angles at which these maxima occur depends on the wavelength of light and the spacing of the slits. The question is, what is Rayleigh scattering and how does it explain the blue color of the sky? And the answer is, Rayleigh's scattering occurs when light is scattered by particles much smaller than the wavelength of the light. It is more effective at shorter wavelengths, hence blue light is scattered more than red light. This scattering causes the sky to appear blue during the day. Next question is, explain the concept of wavefront and its types. And the answer is, a wavefront is a surface of constant phase where all points on the wavefront are in the same state of oscillation. Types of wavefronts include spherical wavefront produced by a point source of light. Second number point, plane wavefront produced by a distant source where wavefronts are flat. Third number point, cylindrical wavefront produced by a line source of a light. Next question is, describe the concept of total internal reflection and its conditions. And the answer is, total internal reflection occurs when a light ray traveling from a denser medium to a rarer medium strikes the interface or at an angle greater than the critical angle, resulting in the light being completely reflected back into the denser medium. The conditions are, first number, the light must travel from a denser to a rarer medium. Second point, the angle of incidence must be greater than the critical angle for the pair of media. आगे बढ़ने से पहले अगर आपने अभी तक इस वीडियो को लाइक नहीं किया है और हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो काइंडली इस वीडियो को लाइक ज़रूर करें और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करें। इससे हमें मोटिवेशन मिलता है और आपको अगला नेक्स्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट वीडियो पहुंचते आपके ऑफिशियल आप तक जल्दी से जल्दी ये वीडियो पहुंच जाएगा। तो चलिए वीडियो को आते हैं। स्टेट एंड एक्सप्लेन हाइजेंस प्रिंसिपल and the answer is Huygens principle states that every point on a wave front acts as a source of secondary wavelets which spread out in all directions with the same speed as the original wave. The new wave front is the tangent to these secondary wavelets. This principle helps to explain the propagation of wave fronts, reflection, refraction and diffraction of waves. Next important question is describe Young's double slit experiment and its significance. And the answer is Young's double slit experiment demonstrates the wave nature of light. When light passes through two closely spaced slits, it produces an interference pattern of bright and dark fringes on a screen. The bright fringes correspond to constructive interference and the dark fringes to destructive interference. This experiment provided strong evidence for the wave theory of light. Next question is, what are standing waves? How are they formed? And the answer is, standing waves are waves that remain stationary in a medium, resulting from the interference of two waves traveling in opposite directions with the same frequency and amplitude. They are characterized by knots and anti-knots. Next question is, why do we use a step-down transformer for half-wave rectification? And the answer is, this is done due to the fact that most devices require voltage levels lower than 220 volt. The stepped-down AC signal is obtained at the output of step-down transformer. Next question is, short note a NAND gate. And the answer is, a NAND gate is a fundamental digital logic gate that produces an output which is the inverse of an AND gate. It has two or more input signal and a single output signal. The NAND gate operates based on the principle that the output will be low, 0, only when all of its inputs are high, that means 1. For any other combination of input signals, the output will be high, that means 1. The truth table for the two input NAND gate is as follows. If both inputs are 0, the output is 1. If one output is 0 and the other is 1, the output is 1. If both inputs are 1, then the output is 0. The NAND gate is known as universal gate because it can be used to create any other logic gate such as AND, OR and NOT gates. This makes it highly valuable in digital circuit design as a complex system can be constructed using only NAND gates. Due to its versatility and simplicity, the NAND gate is widely used in various electronic devices including computers, calculators and other digital systems. Next question is, distinguish between intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. And the answer is, intrinsic semiconductors are pure semiconductors while the extrinsic semiconductors are impure semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors are density of electrons is equal to the density of holes, while the extrinsic semiconductor of density of electrons is not equal to the density of holes. Intrinsic semiconductors electrical conductivity is low, while the extrinsic semiconductors electrical conductivity is high. Intrinsic semiconductors dependency on temperature depends on temperature only, while the extrinsic semiconductor that depends on temperature as well as the amount of impurity only. Intrinsic semiconductors have no impurities, while the extrinsic semiconductors had the trivalent impurity and pentavalent impurity. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो काइंडली इस वीडियो को लाइक करें और हमारे चैनल को ज़रूर से सब्सक्राइब करें इस तरह के वीडियो को आगे देखते रहने के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग। मिलते हैं आपसे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में।